hat and like.
You know what? I could make you a bet, like, if you can manage to take off the shirt without taking off the jacket.
What?
I actually know how it's done. It's
I have no clue.
I can actually do that. So yeah, it's a skill.
Oh yeah. By the
Wow,
way,
how do you?
Yep.
Maybe if you just pull it strong
Like
enough.
usually I make the bet that I'll do it and you give me something, because people are like, yeah, right, sure. Especially if you're drunk, right? I'll be like, you'll buy me a drink if I do this, and you'll be like, for sure, and then I'll do it.
You button it up and then you button it up both places. Then you like pull in, track it up. Can it actually be done?
What are we talking about?
I'm trying to figure out how the fuck this is done. I don't know, man. No.
Well, at the worst, you have
I don't
to
think
just
there was any
pull
music,
one
but-
sleeve off of everything and then slide your hand only to the jacket.
You're not allowed to take off the jacket, though. So.
No, but you won't take off the jacket. You just slide one hand off and then you slide it back in and then you do it with the other hand.
Wait, did we start with music
jacket
and all that
stays
yet?
off.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Okay. Silence. Here we go. Welcome to the 6th episode of the Kappa Council, with a little bit of funsies there just before we started. I guess I'll leave the part where Cubes tries to figure out how to get out of the shirt without taking off the jacket. But yeah, 6th episode, and I mean, we have people dressed up, we have me in this freaking thing, and on drugs, because I have an inflammation in my hand, some bullshit. But yeah, not allowed to be on the computer, but yeah, need to do the show anyway. So, yeah, today's guest is MrCubez, who has +1 in Forest. Need to update that. You can say hi and tell people where they can follow you and stuff.
Hello. So yeah, my name is MrCubez. Hashtag some weird odd correlation of numbers and letters on Steam. Link in chat.
You have the worst nickname. Like,
oh
yeah,
my
so I'm
God,
Cubes,
please.
but my channel is
CHRI594F. That is the Twitch channel. So yeah, anyways, I normally play like Faeria or like any other card games randomly, occasionally when I actually have the time to. I'm going to stream a couple of days in the following week, simply because I have spare time. I'm also the one that does the Inside the Cube, which I started up.
That's a topic.
Yesterday?
We're gonna talk about that.
Sure. But yeah, otherwise, thanks for having me. I just play the game. I'm in raid call all the time and just talk to people and have some fun.
So I just Googled 594F, and apparently it's fragment of goat anti-mouse.
Holy shit.
So you're Mr. Cube, the fragment of goat. That's what it stands for.
Of goats.
Yeah, I'll link it. It's called Alexa Floor, circle R, 594F, and it's a fragment of goat.
I just thought he just put his password in the wrong field when registering.
Okay, so if people want the story, it's like from public school. We had this web page where we go in and check all the stuff we have to do for school and stuff, right? Our whenever we have classes, what classes we have, all our homework was in there. And then my username, because my name is Christian, is then the 4 first letters. and then they give you random serial numbers for like the people in school, and a random number, which the number then like tells you what class the person's in. So that's where like the name comes from, and I'm still using the same name and the same password as I used back then.
But
So
why would you do it for
anyone who
Twitch?
knew his password back then can freaking hack his account. Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Kevin Mitnick hacking. That's what I like. Okay, and KCIV is with us as well today. What's up?
Yo, I got my swag dapper suit and my denim shirt with a tie and super swag jacket. Because we're suiting up today, but apparently 3 of you missed
No,
the
we're
memo.
not. That was never a thing.
It was a thing. It should have happened. It was meant to be.
Damn it. Nobody told me.
But I'm excited. This week was a good week. There's some good stuff in Faeria that happened. Some
Oh,
fun
great.
stuff. Some good patch notes. Some interesting things. It's good stuff. I'm rambling, so just move on. Old one. How are
Yeah.
you?
What's up?
Off topic, we have to change KCIV's name to KCIV with 2 U's.
KCIV. KCIV.
That is his new name, official.
Isn't that like Japanese formal or something?
I have no fucking clue.
You just...
No.
Well, that's how you do it. You just add a... Voo.
Because I know like Sean or Chan, however you say it,
Oh.
depending. I know
Oh.
that's like, isn't that formal or something, or is that informal?
I think that's informal.
Is it informal? Okay.
I think san may be formal.
Yeah, all summer.
Yeah, my knowledge of Japanese is not really up to par with this topic, so...
Neither is mine. Let's just keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great old one.
keep going.
What's up with great old one? You're tired.
I'm so tired. I hope I won't fall asleep in the middle. But other than that, I'm good. I'm really happy for the last patch, which was very exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it. And Joyful, what's up with you? Rage?
JoyfulRogue, I don't have the super duper dapper clothes,
Get your
but
hat.
I did play Faeria.
Get your hat.
Do you have
Put
like
the hat
a,
on.
do you have like a rage?
Victory.
What's up, guys?
Super
I
swag.
played Faeria this weekend and it actually worked out for me pretty nice. Desert is working and I made it work and it was really cool and I learned some cool stuff about the Defiant Incarnation. And you can find me as always on Twitch TV/JoyfulRogue if you haven't found me yet. As a special hello to all these people who came from my stream and watched me have a lot of fun with Defiant Incarnation today.
I think that's the first time I've seen your microphone on the.
Yeah, I was just saying
Well,
like
it's just
Yeah.
kind of moving around.
I was
it's-
wondering what you actually used before, and like I wasn't really sure. Like I was thinking maybe you was using like a Yeti
Well,
or
I have the
something.
biggest microphone of all of you.
I've actually I have something like that in like some moving box
Oh
somewhere.
shit, Case.
Yeah, he also
No,
has.
mine's not. No,
But
yours
you've
is
got
bigger.
this little
I have,
thing here.
yeah, I have the same one you have actually. It's sitting on my
No.
desk somewhere. Yeah, I do. Isn't it the M audio one?
KCIV owns you because he has like a studio at home. I did have a
I've
studio.
got a Samsung here.
Oh, it's Samsung. Okay, well I have like the same kind of model, but it's M audio. Yeah.
Kind of looks similar.
These things are big. Like these are big.
They are. You can whack someone good
Oh yeah.
if you needed to.
KCIV's new murder weapon. In
It was
case of
KCIV.
zombie apocalypse, use
Someone
microphone.
stalks me when I'm streaming. I'm just gonna use it as a murder weapon.
They come in behind you. You just like whip it out, and just throw it.
Oh wait, what? What? Okay.
Oh my god, this
um,
conversation isn't going anywhere.
You sneak
So,
up, you come from
why-
behind, you whip it out. Okay, okay, let's just stop
Oh,
there and
oh,
get to a topic.
Oh
Oh my
my
god. Alright.
please.
Yeah, this show is rated R for random. Anyway, where did we put it? There we go. So, tournament. I guess we'll go back to the one who whips it out, and have him be our tournament correspondent. KCIV, what happened this week in the tournament?
Actually, it was the EU time, so you know I was sleeping. So Cubez won.
Thank you, EU time. It was so early I wasn't even home yet, so I couldn't play on the EU time.
I was sleeping.
Worst
Well,
time ever for all
So
of us, I
Cubez,
guess.
Give us a highlight. Give us an in-depth
Um,
report.
Well, I was also sleeping. Like I got back when they were like close to top 8. There was a minor mishap with like a Joseki. is on medication currently, and since it was like so late for him, since he's American, he actually fell asleep in over his keyboard or his computer. So Arlik was like, okay, Josek is not responding, so I'll try to pick up the tournament while he was playing the tournament. So, like, when the top 8 went around, they hadn't done the math on when the best of 3 was supposed to start. So the top 8 players was actually best of 1, which was a minor mishap on their part. Like, and then we had some problems with, like, some of the players in there, like, figuring out they were actually supposed to play best of 3. And, like, there was some miscommunication on that part. And then, like, everything else actually went smoothly from there until the winner of the upper bracket, who was supposed to go into the finals, actually had to go to work. So he was supposed to, like, he dropped out then, and then, like, Arlik just immediately gave him the second spot, and then, like, they, like, battled for first and third place, which was then Silks and Dodd.
That's so weird.
Why
Yeah.
would a third place guy have a chance at the victory suddenly?
Wait, what?
Because the second place guy wasn't there, and the, like, I don't know. It was, like, the way Arlik decided to do it. I don't really, like, I wasn't in
I
over the
guess
math.
because he wanted some kind of finals.
Yeah, you don't want the
I
finals
think
to be,
so.
and you win. No games played. Like, that's kind of boring.
Yeah, you won because the other guy didn't show up. Like, what?
Like, and then, like, sadly, neither of the people, like, neither Silks nor Dodd had the internet capacity to either stream or share their screen via Skype while playing the game. Like, we tried, and, like, after 3 minutes of the game, like, being, like, just paused on my end when I was trying to stream it, like, we just decided that this isn't going to work.
Oh, well.
Well,
Was-
you know, rather have a tournament that works out than having it streamed. Like, it doesn't have to be streamed.
Precisely.
It's obviously more fun though, but yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because I got on the raid call and there's like, I don't know, maybe 18 people in the lounge room, and like there was a bunch of people I didn't know, so I was like, oh, what happened with the tournament? And I was talking with Dodd for a while about like his deck and stuff. Like there was some pretty cool stuff that happened, but I mean I missed it, so I missed all the hype.
How's that raid call going though? Is it growing? Like, is it
It's
a lot of
actually
people?
going really, really well.
Like like how many more new people are in on a daily basis now?
I don't know. Like, we used to only be, like, 5 or 6 people on there all the time.
But I mean, since you since you said that
Oh.
it was allowed for anyone.
We have at least doubled, if not more, in the numbers of people in there on a regular basis.
Do
We
you want
actually
even
have...
more?
Hmm?
Do you want even more people there?
Of course. Like, the more
Then,
people, the better.
Is there still a thread? I mean, there is a thread now, right?
Then start typing on the stream chat how to join and.
So... It's
Yeah,
very
stop
called
shuffling
the
those cards.
7220809.
Stop shuffling those cards, man.
God damn it!
I couldn't hear it. What? He was shuffling?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, it's
Oh.
the worst thing about. Okay, we're gonna move into
Every
I'm
day
gonna
I'm
bring that up in the
shuffling.
next fucking topic. When we all bash on cubes. No. Okay. Well. Okay. Not much to report on the tournament then. Other than I think it's still really cool that we have a weekly tournament going though. So all
Yeah.
creds
It is.
to
It is.
Joseki who does that. Keep it up.
I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do next week, to be honest. Because this week was kind of like the repeat of last week, but for EU
Oh.
players more so.
So
Oh,
than
and
EU,
next week-
EU will always be the repeat, huh? Frack, how boring.
Yeah, we're doing... The way he set it up is that he choose a, like, way of doing the tournament.
Yeah.
And then he simply does that for 2 weeks, where it's first American time, then EU time. And then he chooses a new topic. And for the next week, it is going to be every card, every deck. You build it, you play it, you come with it, you win. That's how it works. Anything is allowed. Anything goes.
next week.
Good, good. Although I wish there was only on American time. It's much better for me.
Yeah.
Hashtag America. Yeah.
I don't know. For me right now, actually, the EU time is awesome. It's just that it's not like still I haven't been able to play for many reasons. Like Sunday is also like the only day I actually have off work.
Oh.
Well, now we'll see what happens next week. I actually have 5 days off work now, but I'm not allowed to really be on the computer to use the mouse because of the hand, which sucks. Like, what the hell do you do then? Like,
Touchpad.
Watch every touchpad.
I
Actually,
can teach you how to survive a year
Yeah,
without using your
yeah.
hands.
Joyful knows.
Yeah, well, I can't spend any money right now. I'm actually totally, really broke, but yeah. So, no money spending. I guess I'm gonna have to watch every movie ever
Dude,
made.
I have software with which you can use computer for free. No
No,
touching.
I was meaning the pedal thing. Oh, you mean voice commands?
Software. You
Software?
can have a program that tracks a piece of your face with a webcam, and it moves the mouse accordingly.
Whoa.
Pretty
I'll be
good.
streaming that!
Free.
That's actually really cool. But that, like, I'm obviously making a joke and exaggerating it. But I've actually seen I've seen a couple people have stuff like that who like they have disabilities with their hands or whatnot.
That's what those
and like
designed for.
there's some really cool technology that they have that I'm like, I want that. That's pretty
I played
cool.
card games with it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think there might be some shit. I might actually have to look into that though, because I was thinking like, well, maybe I can just use the computer a little bit, you know?
No. Once you start having that
Yeah.
conversation in your head, you're
Yeah.
boned.
Anyway,
Yeah.
since the old one is so tired, should we move it along?
Yes.
Sure.
Second
So-
topic is
Thank you, Chris.
No problem, man.
I'm just hoping he will fall asleep on the show. That will be like the highlight.
Well, I did it already.
Wait,
Yeah,
not,
Yeah, but you
wouldn't
not
be
left,
anything new.
so it doesn't count.
You left, so.
Yeah,
Alright. So, Cubes has a weekly show called Inside the Cube.
If anybody has a better name, please.
Because it,
By
I
the
mean,
way.
It is a
everything,
good name. It's just.
it is clever
great.
nameplay with
Great.
your nickname, I think. I mean, Inside the Cube is pretty good, even though I do always think about the Cube movies.
Yes.
Clearly. And so when I was like, oh, an episode of Inside the Cube, holy shit, he's gonna die, right? But and also all these other freaking esport shows that is like inside the game, inside this, inside that, inside her. But I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a good name, Inside the Cube. It works really well.
Thank you.
Not as good as the Kappa Council.
Wait, what? Is it
Not
the...
as good as the Kappa
Oh,
Council.
not as good. Yeah,
But it is
obviously, we spent a freaking week so trying to come up with something.
But anyway,
But yeah, anyway, it's I watched it yesterday, and here we'll give you some feedback on it and see.
wait.
Have
Let
you
him
talk about
introduce it first. Let him introduce and talk about it before that.
Yeah, Cubes, the floor is yours. What is it about?
I'm basically going to do a weekly show where I take the winner from the weekly tournament. I take his deck. I try and break it down to a understandable level and try to explain why, like, I think every card is in there. And then I obviously try to talk with the winner as well and, like, try to get his, like, information on why he plays the cards he does. I will probably be doing these shows on either Monday or Sunday, so I have a bit of time to, like, actually warm up before the, like, after the tournament's over. It will probably be on Mondays because the Kappa Council on Sundays. Anyways. So I take his deck and I try to break it down as much as possible so it's on like an understandable level. And then like I try to explain why the card that he's playing are in the deck. So for example, I try to explain why he might be playing Evelyn Safeguard over Tavern Yak. And that is then because the Safeguard has the same stats for the same like cost, but he has an ability that might come in handy. So I try to explain the cards that's in there so that people can have a better understanding of why decks are made the way they are. I am also asking people to send me a weekly, like a deck list that they would like me to analyze and maybe give my feedbacks on. So if they're like playing green and they might be playing stuff like Safeguard or Yak, I might say to them, well, why aren't you playing Tiki Pathfinder instead? Because it allows you to do this and this that the Safeguard doesn't. And I try to like give my thoughts on the deck that way without trying to sound like degrading or mad at them for building like quote unquote like not competitive or not optimized decks.
Okay.
Sounds good.
The first you done one episode, right?
Yes, I did. The first I made a special episode for like because the patch just came out, so I wanted to try and explain like the thoughts behind how green it's like new core is supposed to be built with like the new with the new changes to green. So like basically, I wanted to give my opinion on how you would build a like semi-competitive to competitive green decks core with a bunch of slots open, so that people could like go in and choose what cards they would play in the different slots, which is then like purely based on personal preference and play style.
This is so great because I mean, obviously I've been in raid call for a little bit, not too long, but like Cubes' meta knowledge and his like he just has so much information that isn't necessarily as readily available. Like, okay, so Cubes, like, let's say Cubes knows, like, he knows what the core cards are. Like, he knows all this information. But it's not really, like, out there that people can easily find, even though it is, like, it's on the forums. He's made tons of videos, and, like you can find that information. But the best thing about this show to me is that, like, specifically for new people, they can come in and say like, oh, well, how do I make a competitive deck? Okay, I want to know. And then they have a YouTube channel that explains all these different things, and now they have a list of videos they can go through all in one place. And they can also watch, like, you know, well, the deck analyst. Like, it's just I'm kind of rambling, but it's like really exciting because it's like, not that it's for new people, but it goes over a lot of things that might be missed and can be understood by new people. So it's like it's bridging the gap between like the competitive side and the newer side, because there's a lot of information in between that isn't necessarily found out unless you talk with people that are competitive. So unless you're already engaged, it's kind of hard to access that information. So the fact that Cubes is doing something like this, it just makes all that information like really accessible, and it was really exciting. Like for example, the first episode he looked at like the core green cards. So as a new player or even a veteran player, they can say, okay, well, what are the core? I want to build a green deck. They can go directly to that video, find that list of cards, and then say, oh, well, I have these slots open, and then they can tweak it, they can add in, and it just gives like not a foundation, but it like gives an actual standpoint for people to look at. Because when you're first approaching this game, it's like, where do I start? What do I do? How do I put this together? Well, this card is green, I'll put it in. But like, I don't know. I'm really excited.
All right.
This is really cool.
I love the idea of 4 or 5 expert level players coming together on raid call, discussing strategies, and then Cubes tells everyone what they all came out with. That's the best source of information I can think of from any source, actually.
Yeah,
None of
because
those
they might be
single
afraid
players
of
knows as much as was put into the show, because it was a work of many people putting their ideas together. That, I think, I would say that is a much more compelling idea than just taking people's decks and analyzing them. I would say that what you did with the first episode, the way you gave core 34 cards, I think it was, core 34 cards that should be in every competitive green deck, and it actually made sense. And you explained why these cards and not others. And it was a product of many good players, not just you. I think that is a ridiculously good show. I think that is worth watching by both pros and newbies. I think it's way better than any single deck analysis could be. Because if you take somebody else's deck, you really just have to play it for a few days before you actually really know what you're talking about. So you really know what you're talking about when you were doing that force analysis. So if you could do more of shows from that deep experience of not only you but other players, it could be really, really compelling. I think if you maybe even took things a little bit slower, maybe even once per 2 weeks, or gave yourself a few more days, made it on Wednesday in the middle of the week, but gave yourself more time to go deeper into it, or discuss it with other guys on raid call.
I was actually just gonna
so
say
damn
the
good.
opposite. I was gonna say do like 2 episodes
Should
a
do it
week.
every
That way
day.
there's every single day.
Yeah, one every
No,
day.
I
Come
meant
on,
to
don't be like that. One every day.
Yeah. But but I'm agreeing with what Joyful is saying. Like it's like I know Cubes grabbed like a lot, like I think it was like four of like the top green players, and then talked to them, and then like put out a show, which is just awesome, because then that's like, I mean, all this information being accessed and then easily available in a nice clean package that's easily understandable, easily readable. Like, it's just so great. Like, I'm so excited to see this get going.
Yeah, I watched the show today. It was really awesome to see. And I think actually once a week is perfect because, as Cube said, after the tournament, you can just check the winner's deck, which is, I think, is information a lot of people want to know. Only thing I might want to, I don't know if improve, but just reflect on is it looks a bit, I don't know, like improvised. Like people are talking in the background. Like
It really
yelling
was
and,
Oh yeah.
For the next episode, I'm not gonna be on raid call. I'm not gonna have music in the background. I am like I made the episode at like 4 a.m. in the morning my time after the patch came out. I had like 30 minutes to go into a room with like 3 other really good green players, which was Quincy, Midnight, and Orlick, and I simply asked them, could we just sit down and like talk core green cards? What cards would you like to see in a core green deck? And then we did that, and then like I was just like, okay, so I'm just gonna put this out there so people have the information. I am going to try and make it better the longer I go. This was the first episode, so obviously there's a lot of things that will improve.
obviously. I just wanted to point it out.
So there will be no raid call, right?
No, I will be off
Thank
raid
you.
call. I will be by myself without any music and just talking. What I also will do, with like as you said, Joyful, because my main experience when playing Faeria is only when playing green, since I don't really like dip into the other colors more than when I actually splash them into my green decks. So what I will do is every single time there's a new update with like any green changes, I will go back. I will then analyze green again, hopefully with the same amount, like the same people, and then I will put up another special where I simply only talk about green, since that's my main experience with the game.
I love that.
So I'm going to call every episode that I do on a regular basis actual episodes, and all the episodes that I do with only green information in them are going to be called specials. And if there's a new patch and nothing changes in the core cards, I'll explain why nothing changed. So I'll try to explain, like to the best of my abilities, why the cards and the changes aren't good enough to be implemented into the core cards, but they might be good enough to be implemented into like the rest of the cards that you have available.
But yeah,
Awesome.
and that's really easy to expand on too. Like, I mean, you could always just do like a red special and bring in all the red players, because I know Cubes knows a lot about red, but he may not play it as much as green. But
I
it's
also
not like he
liked
doesn't know. So
the length of the episode, at least the first one. Like, I think you should try and do, try and keep that as like a hard-coded thing. Maybe not do longer than 20 minutes.
I was thinking about
something like
making
that.
it 15 to 20 minutes every time.
yeah, it was perfect because
Yeah.
it was short,
It was
quick, and
perfect,
easy,
yeah.
and good. Oh, it was
It
so
was
great.
short. It was short enough to be interesting and enjoyed throughout watching it, and it will definitely be, because that's like I make dinner. I want to watch something when I eat, right? And that's like the perfect length of something like that. It's just like How I Met Your Mother.
Cubes, How I Met Your Mother, new episode.
How
It's
you met-
exactly like that.
It's
Oh no, I met your
exactly.
cube.
What I would really like to ask you guys is like, I really wanted to know if I should go more into details about specific cards. So, for example, in the episode I did before, I was talking about like the fatties in green. Would you want me to go into more detail as to why those fatties are in there compared to other fatties? So, like why Poltergeist is in there compared to Living Willow and other stuff like this?
I
I'm gonna tell you that.
I just
You
wanna say,
should
okay.
go in detail with the matchups. You were talking
Oh,
a
yes.
lot in the first episode about how Forest holds off a rush. And
yeah.
you gave a lot of information about that. But what about how does Forest play against another Forest? How does Forest play against structure decks? How about, well, maybe not against Desert, because nobody plays Desert except me in the weekends. I do my favorite weekends. But I would tell you that if you are analyzing a deck, maybe you should have a list of matchups. And you should mention every matchup. How does this deck fare in the matchup? What is the playstyle of this deck in the matchup? What is the goal of the deck in the matchup? Which cards you should hope for and draw for in the matchup?
Yeah.
What do you guys think are the key matchups? Obviously Rush, obviously Structure. What else could there be that's really worth mentioning?
Mid game,
Mid-game aggression.
the late
Sure.
game, like power out big creatures deck. I actually played a bunch, like 3 or 4 games against those today with green players. I played like Windmill, they played Singing TP, Tiki
Happy
Bonger,
Economy,
and
yeah.
Shaman, and then they just like play Aboria into Poltergeist, Aboria, and then like more cards like this. I just plunk down fatties every turn.
Yeah,
Because I
so
couldn't watch
I would
them
say you should
efficiently.
write down those 4 matchups and just remember to, on the show, to talk about every single
mean,
one.
I would be afraid of putting them all into one episode though, because I feel like
I'll
there's so
do
much
an
information.
episode
Just
for
mention how.
Oh,
the
okay,
play
okay,
styles
yeah,
will
okay,
work.
that's good. Because I was saying like man, a 15-minute episode of Green versus Rush or Green versus Structure, like, oh, that'd be so good.
But it's just, here's how the game plays out and what should your goals be during this matchup. It's just like 1-2 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So just to sum up, because I'm actually writing this down, I should talk more about the matchups. There shouldn't be any sound while doing them. I should do more specials, like specifically for green, which ties to the matchup part. And then every episode should be around 15 to 20 minutes. Did I miss anything?
That sounds good. I mean, the reason why I don't want background music or sound, even though it's very, very low, is that, you know, any slight sound that is in the background will make it harder for people to pick up on the things you are telling them.
Unless you find the proper kind of music, the music that is actually made as a background music.
I guess that there is that type.
Beethoven.
I would fall.
No,
Oh
no.
no, shit.
No,
But I just like
heavy metal.
I will
Welcome.
probably fall asleep while doing the episode. Then.
But maybe
No, come on.
10 minutes into the video,
Like
slam!
voiceover music.
Down.
The Beethoven intro, and welcome to today's episode of Inside the Cube.
Holy shit.
Today
I'm
we'll be
not a psychologist.
See, you can
please,
have
no.
Casey do the voice over.
Great! Oh, that'd be great.
But yeah, I just think, you know, with the amount of talking you do, there's no need for any music.
Could be.
Like, cause yeah, I mean, yeah, the only reason to really have background music, in my opinion, is when you're not gonna be saying anything interesting for some periods, like, so yeah, so it's just not silence.
And how he just got it right on the chat.
Saying I should wear a rope, smoke a pipe in front of a fireplace. First of all, I do not have a fireplace anywhere.
Oh well, that's
close to
easy.
me.
You just go out, pick
CGI,
up,
man.
like, you know.
Second problem, I do not smoke. Third problem is a morning rope okay? I suppose, right?
No,
Sure.
Jedi robe.
Holy,
Jedi
oh
robe.
my god!
Star Wars
I'll take my
licensed.
lightsaber.
Star Wars licensed, so it has to be really expensive.
Lightsaber.
But can't you fake smoking, like just like water steam?
Fake smoking?
Fake smoke.
I don't know. I don't know anything about smoking.
He has like a pot of
I'm gonna
steam,
have
just like
40
inhaling on the side.
like-
There's
the best thing ever,
there's
like,
something
I
like
love
like
looking unhealthy.
steaming water, you know, and it looks like smoke from the pipe. I don't know.
He's just like spitting out water.
I'll drink some water, but like.
Well, guys, I think we should move on to the next topic,
probably move on.
What? Really? Really?
which I would like to suggest talking about. I know something the devs really want to hear. You know, they think it's interesting to know if they are
Did you
approach to
show them?
balance.
Did you show them our document?
Yeah, I did.
God damn you!
They wanted to know if approach to balance is good or not. Like, they wanted to hear our opinion about it.
Because their approach to balance is listening to the community a lot and making a lot of changes fast.
Quickly, yeah.
Quickly, yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
there-
not
so-
waiting.
It's funny though. I want to say that topic has been in that document since before the first show,
So
right?
long.
It's
Yeah.
Maybe
it's
we're
been there
scared.
forever.
It's actually an interesting topic. And
Nobody's
it
been daring
requires
to
some
touch
thought.
it. It's been like, well, that wasn't enough time. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, so we should. Okay,
Who's
should
going
I
first?
start?
it's a
Yeah,
good
go.
topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go.
You were
Great
waiting
start.
for that for so long.
Well, I personally believe that the Faeria team are really good at balancing. I mean, the approach to balance actually is really good because it's beta. They should not be afraid to change things. I've been in other betas that the devs just weren't really daring enough to change big stuff during the beta, and it made the game so boring, and people were they were just so bored with just playing the same stuff over and over, and they were complaining about all kinds of stuff, and just nothing was happening. And you know, if you could change something and you screw a color up, yeah, it will get some people mad, people who play the color. But you know, it's better. It's fine. You should expect stuff like that, and it actually makes the game much better, in my opinion.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I would say that the weekly changes keep a lot of people interested. It keeps me interesting. If they didn't change things on a weekly basis, I don't think I would be here.
It would be boring quick.
It's so good, actually.
I think
come back, and the meta game just shifts from week to week because it has to shift with the patches. So that's I would say that's actually great for the game. And that's, I think, the biggest doubt of a developer who changes things a lot is, oh god, will this change actually ruin the game? No, it's making it better. Even if you mess something up and just, there will be a week of total madness with one thing overpowered, it's still variety, and people want variety to stay in. At worst, it will be controversy, but people are gonna rather stay around because of it rather than leave.
You know,
Plus, if
and
you're
if
making changes
something
fast.
was totally overpowered, they actually just, you know, one day after, or even a few hours
Yeah,
after,
they do
they already
hotfix still.
changed it. So
yeah, that's the other thing. Even if they do something wrong, because they're doing patches like so regular, they can fix it, and it's not a big deal. Unlike other companies where they're like they make a patch and it's like 3 months before they fix something that's obviously broken. But I also have to say that I don't completely agree. I say that it's like the way they've been doing it is amazing, but I think it depends on what we're talking about. Because I know there've been some like obviously the devs have done nothing wrong. This isn't like the devs have done this, so let's talk about it. But like I think their approach is perfect because they don't just like they don't make changes on things that don't need to be changed. For example, like if suddenly people are complaining about Porcupine being OP, oh my gosh, we have a problem with Porcupine. They're not just like, oh yeah, we'll change it right away. Like they give it enough time for people to figure out how to play around it, figure out why it's too strong, and then they make changes. Like their timing is perfect because they literally sit down and they're not just like, let's change it. Oh, there's people talking about it. Let's change it. Like they wait.
Yeah, actually, now that I think of it,
They listen.
they listen to the community, but they give themselves time. The
Yeah, and
changes
that's
come weekly, but it's not a week-long feedback loop. They listen and then they think about the stuff they heard about, and they make the change in 3 weeks later when people already figure shit out.
Yeah.
But they make other
Imperial
changes that they've heard
Disruptor.
about before, so it actually rolls on a weekly basis, but it's not a week-long feedback loop. It's really nice, actually, now that I think of it. They've waited so long to change Curse. But
So
I
many
guess our
people
highlight
said,
And it was the
or
good
was the
change.
final straw.
So many
But
people
the
said
change
Curse
was
and
talked about so long.
an Imperial Disruptor will like have to change, and you know it took them a long, not really a long time, but kind of like a long time compared to them to change it. But I'm so happy they gave it enough time
Yeah,
to actually
exactly.
be, you know, to be tried. Yeah, I don't know. Just
So
and that's what I love. Like they don't just listen to like
Like,
the
do we play
flavor of
enough?
the week conversation. Like when
Yeah.
I also remember when Imperial Disruptor was like, "Oh my god, this card is so broken. It's so stupid. We need to change this now." And the devs didn't. They didn't do it right away. They waited. And guess what people figured out how to do? They figured out how to play against it. So then no one was complaining. So the devs wait like the perfect amount of time. Like they listen and they're like, "Okay, everyone thinks this is a problem. Let's research it." Then they look into it and they're like, okay, well, let's see if we can make a change next week. Let's see if people figure out a way to play against it, and then we'll make a change. Because if devs are always like, oh my gosh, flavor of the week conversation, let's change it, like that's a bad thing. And they haven't done that, and I love that. They actually allow players to figure out ways to play against something. And then obviously if it's still too strong, they change it. I mean, there's very few cards that have been ridiculously broken that they haven't fixed in an appropriate amount of time. So I think like they're just doing such a great job. Like it's great.
Yeah,
and what does Cube think?
Like I really like it's so hard to put into the conversation because everything I wanted to say has actually already been said.
Oh.
that's fine.
You were just
Like-
silent. I was just like, okay, let's give the guest.
Like I
what to say.
don't know. I don't think I can actually say something that already hasn't been said. Like I marginally agree with the GreatOldOne. So yeah, like I just feel like it's so good that the developers like make changes like as fast as they do because that keeps people so interested. Like the one thing I actually enjoy the most and look up to the developers the most about is that I have not seen a day ever since I have joined this game where there has not been a developer online. Every single day, there's a dev online in the chat if you want to chat. He might not be there for like more than 5-10 minutes, but he's there. Like he shows he's there. He shows he's just like not out partying or anything. Like he's actually there.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can say
dedication
something
is
that has
so-
been said.
so great.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Apart from the fact how fast the changes work, the approach to balance itself is really smart. The changes oftentimes fix the underlying problems of a card itself, rather than just increase the cost and people will stop complaining. They change the very idea of the card. When the Sagami Hunter, the old one, the old Hunter, that was just completely stupid, like 1 attack, 2 HP Archer. When that card,
The Sagami or the Savage Tiki, you mean?
the
one,
Savage
two.
Sagami, the Savage Sagami.
Savage.
There you go.
Savage
The old Savage Sagami, there you go. That card was broken and nobody wanted to play it, and they didn't just decrease the cost so that everybody will start to play it. They changed the card completely, and now the Savage Tiki is such a cool card. That's the balance to approach. That's the approach to balance that we
Yeah.
need, actually.
They don't just change to appease people. They change like because they care about their game.
Yes.
You know, and I love
Yeah.
that because you see a lot of other games. They're like, people are complaining, we must change it and appease them without actually fixing the problem. So the problem's still there. They just kind of like covered it up. But like, man, the devs on Faeria, they dig in and they're like, all right, so what's the real problem with this card? Like, where is this coming from? Let's listen to players. Let's ask players. Like, and they're so plugged into the community. I love it. Like, no one should feel like they can't talk to the devs. Like, anyone can, and it's so great how like in the forums you can write a post. I guarantee, well, I shouldn't say I guarantee, but like almost every post in the forums has a developer posting back. Even if it's like a terrible idea, they will post back and say, hey, actually this idea wouldn't really work in Faeria, but this is interesting, keep up the good. I mean, like they talk, they communicate, and I love that. It's so nice to see that in the forums. Like, it's just great.
Awesome.
Super cool.
Plus one.
Definitely.
What do you guys think of the approach to balance that they did on the Stalking Nightmare and the Demon? They basically changed the Demon from its form of, I believe it was 3 attack, 3 HP or something, into what it is now, 0 attack, 3 HP, and only curse. They changed it. I asked them about it. They changed the Demon and the Nightmare. They changed the Nightmare to cost gold. They changed these two cards not because they were unbalanced,
This patch
but
or
just to accentuate their roles, just to make them more unique, make them more interesting, to make them more distinguished in Faeria.
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking about this patch or
yeah,
last?
he does.
No,
I
this-
really,
yeah,
I
it's
really
the
need
last two
to...
patches, I guess.
I
Okay,
really
the
need
two
to
patches.
play.
I believe that Joyful is talking about the patch when Shaitan Demon went from costing 4 gold, 3 Faeria,
Yes,
2
but-
deserts to
but
costing
also
5
to this
Faeria.
patch. I think both patches have the same idea of changing the card because it should fit a certain idea, not because it's unbalanced.
I haven't
Sure.
played since the patch 2 days ago though.
Oh, that's a shame. It's a good patch.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it's an
looking at
amazing
the
patch.
change log.
So
it's,
are we gonna dig into the patch right now, starting
No,
off?
I,
with
I
what
just
the
wanted
top-
to get your opinion on the idea of changing cards
okay.
to have more distinguished roles, even though they were working before.
I
I
mean,
really
I
enjoy
think
it.
it's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
go Cubes. No, you're the guest. Go.
I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy what they did to the demon and the scapegrace this patch, because they wanted both creatures to be like curse units, and like now they fill their role and they don't really fill any other role, which is amazing because like scapegrace was like used in every deck before, right?
Mhm.
Like I haven't seen anyone except me play that card so far. Me playing the stupid wombo combo deck currently. But like other than that, like I really like how they changed the demon because it was really only used in the combo decks because like 5 Faeria was a lot for Desert to handle anyways, because they really wanted to put their Faeria into gold creation because all their cards costed so much gold. So I really like how they have actually changed those to be like more of like centered towards one idea and then like doing the idea they want it instead of like what everybody else wanted. So like we're a lot of people that talked about changing scapegrace to a 1/2 because then it wouldn't be nearly as good. But then the devs were like, no, we'll just change it to a 0/3 with curse 2 because we want it to be a curse unit. Like I really
so
enjoyed that. Like
I agree with that.
By the way, did anyone try? Like I didn't play since the patch as well. Does the import export work?
Yes, it does.
It's
Uh,
awesome.
Oh, that's
Okay, so
yeah.
we are gonna talk about the patch.
Sure.
We talked about the priorities of what should be done first. They've already done the deck saving.
that's
they,
good.
yeah, I haven't even read the whole notes thing.
Oh.
That's a shame.
That's a shame. I feel so bad.
That's a
Well,
shame.
I read Curse X and I was like, no, I fucking hate you. Okay, I'm gonna try it though. We'll see how it works. But with that, I guess let's just make it official. Let's move into talking about the patch notes of 29th November.
How are we gonna do that? Every change or?
Nah.
No.
Just like
Oh,
pick like
that's
2
too
or 3
much.
each or something.
But
Yeah,
I definitely
that's
want to
best.
keep on
Yeah.
the sort of topic where like Curse X. So one of the fixes and improvements is Curse X. Curse is no longer bound to the creature's power but to a static value. So any creature who has Curse now will have just like Radiate and stuff like that will say how much it is. Like it will be Curse 2, which means it's Curse 2. You can't buff it or anything like you could before. I don't know. I need to try this out, but I feel that Curse just became a non-issue. I think they. I think
I
they,
won a
I
game
don't like
today
it.
because of Curse.
You won
Yeah.
because of Curse.
It's not completely killed, and it's not like because a lot of people are like, everything's destroyed. All these cards are unplayable, but they're not. Like, they're still not great. Like, obviously, Curse is no longer the Wombo combo deck, but it still has its place. People just need to find out where that is yet. It's like
Yeah.
too soon to say if it's like.
Oh yeah, it's too
completely
soon to
horrible or not.
say.
I was playing Desert today with Stocky Nightmares, but it was a normal mid-game aggression or late-game strong engagement. And there was a game where we ended up kind of trading blows on the orbs. My unit took his orb down to 11. His unit took me down to 11, and then he killed everything with Fire Flap. And then my Stocky Nightmares finished him off. So the Curse is very much viable in such situations, and it still works, except not for Wombo combo.
Yeah, I guess. I like the idea of it just affecting the tile where the creature ended up, right? Like the last tile, so you couldn't like move several times and do curse damage. That I like that idea. But I mean, I'm
instead
definitely
of Curse X, you mean?
Yeah, instead of Curse X,
okay.
obviously. Like,
But it comes down to the same thing.
I mean,
you can-
it does.
Except you can buff the Curse by moving it several tiles rather than
That
buffing
is
the damage.
true. That is true.
I would say if you think about the lore, then the Curse X makes more sense because they are
the lore?
desecrating the land they are walking on. So the more lands they cover, the more they desecrate.
Maybe that was the reason. That
That's true. I never thought about it.
Holy shit! Think
Yeah.
about the lore, dude. I'm playing a card game. Like, fuck
It has to matter.
No, but like
I'm
they've
such
also
not-
the devs have also very clearly said that they base a lot of the game off the
Yes,
lore. Like
obviously.
lore is
Which is
not like
amazing.
a side story. It's like
no.
the integral part of changes and stuff. So
Yes, I respect that. I'm just not a lore nerd. I don't dig into that stuff. But I respect it. I accept it. It's cool. I'm just gonna try it out. When I say try it out, I'm just gonna go back and play my green stuff anyway. So
it's like the Haunt. I mean, Haunt was never a like one-shot combo deck. Like it was like you would whittle them down and like I mean it could wombo if you used like Might and Guts or something. But I feel like Curse is now filling
I guess
the
that's
opposite side of
true.
Haunt in a way. As opposed to before, it was like Haunt is like this extra thing you get, and Curse strategy is like a whole deck strategy. Whereas now they're kind of like you can build a Haunt deck, you can build a Curse deck, and they're kind of around the same. But obviously, I would say Haunt is almost better now because you don't have to hit, you don't have to be on their land. But anyway, but yeah, Yellow got some interesting changes since we're talking about Demon and stuff. But I really liked what Cube said is that they made the card fill a specific role and not just be like a jack of all trades card, and I like that. Like it's obviously wasn't great for Yellow. Like a Yellow player doesn't look at that change and say yes. Like they're gonna be like, "Oh, wow, are you kidding?" But I think it's a step closer to giving Yellow its direction, and then the rework will happen and everything will make sense.
So
So-
the main problem with the curse right now is that almost all of the really good curse unit that isn't red, they all have 0 damage. Like,
Did they remove the damage on anything that had curse?
not on
Yeah,
everything.
Shaitan-
Shaitan,
no, but
Demon,
Shaitan-
and Scapegrace have now 0 damage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And for the people that's wondering in chat, yes, you can stack curse. If you
Yes.
have a Shaitan demon in play and you play a Circuit Malefice, that thing has 5 curse.
Oh, they put the 5 curse on. Oh, okay, it has 5 curse. Yeah.
Shaitan
okay,
or
okay.
Circuit Malefice basically gives every creature you control 2 curse,
So it adds.
and that can stack onto each other.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
I would I was when I said it's you can't buff it. I didn't mean that card. Per
Yeah,
se.
so,
Like, I
so
know
the
you
Circle
can-
Malefice is, I guess, the only remaining wombo combo with curse.
That's the curse deck I'm playing. Basically, I'm just playing I'm playing red yellow for having, because my main problem was when looking at the green way of playing it with Tiki Song and Tiki Weathercock to move your creatures back and forth, is that you can't really do anything if your opponent simply fills every single land square, because you actually have no way of attacking them. So what I did with my deck is I added in the Obelisk and the Hellgates to have a actual clock on my opponent, so they have to go for me.
Oh,
And as
that's
soon as
smart.
they got over to my land, I play Unbearable Words to move their creature away and do a massive amount of horn damage with a bunch of Circuit Malefice and Wind Gates and Mind Travels.
It's interesting.
Sounds really fun.
That's and see that's what I'm talking about. Like when when the patch first came out, we're like, okay, well, wombo combo was killed. There's no such thing as a wombo combo. And then 3 or 4 days later, now we're actually seeing some decks built around this new curse that are honestly that kind of like Cubez's deck, very interesting and very cool, very fun interaction. I would say
Yeah, it's
It's-
much
it's
better to
really
play against
cool.
it than the
Very
the
interesting,
last
I would
one
say,
before.
yeah.
yeah,
I-
and it's awesome.
I think one
Go
of
ahead.
the strength of the deck is actually that we got Wish of the Devil over to yellow now, which is incredibly powerful. That's
So-
how I beat Joyful in that one game, or actually in 2 games when I just saw that he didn't have any actual lands in play other than prairies, so I just I waited for after he had collected both of his Faeria spawns, and then I just wished him, and then he didn't have any Faeria, and then I was marginally ahead with Faeria, and then I could just mind travel to finish him off at that point.
Yeah, because I
Um,
got only haste units, so I had to stockpile Faeria to attack.
Precisely.
Really liking that yellow is kind of turning into the Fey denial stuff.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, that's
really
another
like
thing
that.
to talk.
And the other thing I really like about yellow is that people are finally playing with the teleport in yellow.
And-
Recently, I've seen everyone using the yellow teleport, which I think was something that was really cards were built around this teleport strategy, but no one really used it. So the cards were considered bad and not really oh, these cards aren't really usable. But now that people are fully exploring the teleport aspect of yellow, there's a lot of cards that are coming back that haven't really been used before. And I'm really loving this new teleport in yellow. It's pretty crazy, some of the stuff I've seen. Cubes, I think you teleported a Fire Wisp next to a
Yes.
Fortune Hunter and just insta-won the game.
That was
that
against
kind of stuff.
Joyful Rogue.
Was it?
I am sorry. I basically conceded after I played 3 cards. I played Wish of the Redirms, then I teleported my Fire Wisp over to kill his only Harvester, which was a Fortune Hunter, and at that point I was just too far ahead in
Yes.
the game. And
So he basically destroyed all my Faeria and then killed my Harvester with the Fire Wisp. So I couldn't
That's
play
awesome.
anything.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I really like how people are I don't know. At least from what I've seen a lot of. I mean, everyone's playing green. I mean, that's I see that a lot. But
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people testing out yellow, and that's really cool. We're finally getting a lot of people to play yellow. So now, there's a lot of people talking about yellow, and that's always a good thing. Because before,
What I'm interested about is what about Blue Rush? Does it got really
Nobody talks
nerfed
about
now?
it anymore.
I have not seen a actual Blue Rush player in the last week.
I don't
Um,
remember meeting too much Blue Rush.
they're really rare all of a sudden.
I
That's
don't know.
interesting.
Maybe people got bored of doing it, because I don't see any nerfs really, other than Lunar Moki
People usually play what
costing one more life.
wins them game, and if they suddenly don't play it, so I guess it got weaker.
No, I don't think people just got bored.
Well,
More
a lot of
people
figured out-
suddenly thought that green was more competitive than blue and switched over.
Yeah, Might and
Yeah.
Gods got so buffed now. I think could be that the competitive people switched to green.
Well, also, I think people got better at the game, first of all. And second of all, a lot of people learned how to play against Blue Rush. So a lot of the Blue Rush easy wins don't happen. So they're well, I don't know. I'd say people are playing more Flavor of the Week more so than just like.
Yep, I
for
agree.
wins.
Just in the interest of keeping the time schedule, should we? Oh, what the hell? Should we move over to like talking about the rest of the changes instead of like?
Yeah, I was
Cubes,
trying to do
go
that.
ahead.
I'm gonna add.
Pick
Go
a change.
ahead.
Sure. Poltergeist, like basically, since I'm a green player, I really enjoy some of the green changes, like Poltergeist, Spirit of Agony, Might and Guts. Holy shit, I love these changes. I think they might have went a bit overboard with the Poltergeist. I still think it was a really good card at its old cost. Taking one Faeria away from the card might actually have like pushed it over the top of being too good, but I don't know. I really enjoy it. I really think Spirit of Agony is an amazing card now. For only 4 gold and 2 Faeria, you get a 2/5 creature that deals 2 damage to your opponent's orb when you kill a dude. 2/5? 2/5? That's very
Ridiculous.
close to a Borea. Are you kidding me?
I really like the 2/5 stats.
And like Might and Guts is like before I had 3 Faeria because of how hard it is for green to collect Faeria while playing its card efficiently. Because they have to play stuff like Ghost and like the old Poltergeist for 3 Faeria. So suddenly everything costing 2 Faeria gives you like more room to maneuver with. So with Might and Guts only costing 2 Faeria, it has become one of the really good combat tricks green has. Because Might and Gutsing a Poltergeist to deal 8 damage to your opponent's orb is not something to be taken lightly.
And you're taking creatures off the board. Like
Precisely.
It's pretty big. Do you think it's
Yeah.
almost too good with the Might and Guts change, or do you think
It
green
is
needs
too
this
good.
extra combat trick?
I'm actually not sure if it's too good. I would really like to see the card be more forest though, so you can't play it as early. Because I have seen some
Yeah.
weird blowouts with like yellow rush players that try to go for that. Like suddenly meet a Tiki Bonga that kills 2 dudes. Like it kills a Manta and a Keldrin Soldier or something because it has like a Might and Guts on it. I would really like to see it to be like a more card centered towards like later into the game. But I don't know. I just think that having it at 3 Faeria was too much because you never really got to play it. And at 2 Faeria, it might be like a bit too strong, but I don't really see any way you could actually balance it without like making it close to unplayable again.
Maybe make it more gold. Like
Maybe
gold.
more gold now that it costs less Faeria, or bring it back to 3 Faeria but less gold.
But 5 gold, 2 Fey, I don't know. I feel
Like-
like that's getting almost too expensive, but it would make it actually would make sense because if you look at Runic Flash and Fire Flap, they're basically the cost of a creature. So it would make sense that Might and Guts would basically be the cost of a green creature to
Yeah.
get. I mean, because you're not going to play Might and Guts unless you're going to get a good advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to say, should I play Borea or Might and Guts?
have-
Like if you choose Might and Guts, you're going to get
had
an
a
advantage.
scenario where I double Tiki Song Might and Guts to take the last of my opponent's land with a Pathfinder.
Wow.
No value whatsoever. I'll just take your land. I've already won the game. I don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah,
like,
so
I'm
I
gonna
guess
say
that
this.
makes sense.
I've been
Go.
streaming for the last 2 days since the patch. Over 50% of my games were against Forest.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Green.
Do you think
There
they
are
have
4
it-
colors, and it's still over 50%.
Yeah.
Do you think that they could explore making land costs in green being like let's talk absurd for a moment. What if they made Might and Guts like 5 forest? Do you think that'd be
Well,
ridiculous, or should
I've
they use it
actually
as like a
been
time
talking
I
control?
think that would only limit it to late game, which will make little difference because it is usually used in the late game.
Like I've actually talked to Martin and Jim about this because I really feel like
Five, but-
back at the time when we actually had Forest Worm being like pretty good at 3 gold, a guy called Baby got to number 1 in the ladder by playing green, and his favorite opening was not playing the Forest Worm. It was actually going. He would be on the play, making a land. Turn 2, just make a forest to gain gold and play a sentinel. Like the one at that time, it was a 1/3 that for 1 action point it would basically make a bloom for you. So it would create a forest adjacent to the sentinel.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
So that will allow, like, that's really what I want to see green have back, since that allows green to have an absurd amount of forest cost in their card, which won't hurt them at all, because they suddenly have this synergy where having a bunch of forest is really good for you. Also, with the new Tiki Ambush change, I feel it's so awkward to play now because you can't really combo it with anything. like for example, Safeguard or the new Sentinel ability. So it just takes away some synergy that I would really like to see Green have. It also makes like Heart of the Woods worse that we don't have any actual land creation like cards. Like I have not made a green deck that hasn't included Therian Explorer since they changed Forest Worm, because I feel like I need the additional land.
Well, you do, because green doesn't really have that strong of an early game, so you need that land creation to reach mid game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially against rushes.
Precisely.
Or against structure decks, I guess, because red needs to be attacked as fast as possible.
Precisely. It's a very good overall card. We have me, Quincy, and some of the others have discussed with some of the developers some of the direction they could take green, and some of the reasons why they didn't want some of the cards the way they did. For example, they didn't want green rushing, so they changed Forest Worm so they couldn't rush with it, because they really wanted green to be this defensive, play big guys kind of deck. I hope some of the stuff that that me and Quincy and the others talked about with Martin and stuff will actually get implemented at some point. I think it is just wishful thinking, because I think the developers are actually very good at making their own choices when it comes to actual balancing.
Yeah, it's really neat that they listen.
Yeah.
Because I've been sitting in when Cubes and them are talking about stuff, and they present a legitimate. I mean, it's not like it's a court where you have to present your arguments and present your logic, but they go to the devs, they have a huge list of things and reasons that's really great, and then the devs listen and they're like, oh, okay, and then I've heard many a times the dev be like, no, I don't think we agree with that, and I love that, because then it's the devs are still in control.
They already thought about it as well. Sometimes they say, yeah, we thought about this and it wouldn't work because of 1, 2, 3, 4.
They give you arguments as to why stuff won't work, and I think one of the reasons they go to us and Raid Call a lot is because we instead of just saying this is bad, you should change it, we really come with a lot of arguments as to why. We try and give constructive criticism back to the developers and give them some constructive ideas that they can then build upon, so that they know the thoughts of some of the community without us sounding too harsh and just saying, this is not good, we should change this. That's why we try and present it the way we try and present it. And
plus, I mean, Raid Call has a good amount of the community in one place. Because it'd be kind of hard for them to say in main chat of Faeria, guys, what do you think about this? That would kind of get a little crazy.
If they did that, they would have 20 people answering with 20 different answers.
But then you have the forums, though, as well. I mean, if you do want to...
Yeah,
do that.
But
and chat, obviously.
This is a good place to plug that. If you have an idea for the game, get on Raid Call, tell the people in Raid Call, and there's been plenty of times where I've been in Raid Call. Some person I didn't recognize the name, just some guy comes in a Raid Call, says, "Hey Cubes, I have this idea," and Cubes is like, "Oh, that's a really good one. I'll pass this along next time I see them," and it's you can post in the forums, you can come in Raid Call, even if you don't want to stay for very long. You can join, tell everyone what your idea is, we can talk about it, we can discuss it, and then that information does get passed along. It's not oh, well, only our ideas are good, because I know some people have thought this way or made comments about that, but it's definitely not the case. So
I currently have a list of around 20 things that I have to say to the developers, one of them being that the current trading system after level 10 does not work. You had to be level 12 yesterday to trade, and today you have to be level 11. So they're already trying to fix that, and I think they're trying to work towards that goal, but I don't...
So, what do you think about that, though, the trading limit?
I think it's necessary for stopping the Smurfs from abusing players of lower levels.
So
let me ask this question.
No normal player of low level will need to trade yet.
That's
because they don't know what they want.
Isn't it a problem, though, that you're level 5 after the 4 introduction missions, though? I consider low level play of the game being level 10. I mean, you get to 10 after 2-3 games. I mean, it goes really quick.
You do.
Yeah, so it's not that hard.
I think they should slow it down a little bit. I don't know. I understand why the introduction, the PvE, will give you experience and levels. I mean, they're gonna have 20, 25 something, right? And I mean, currently 4 gives you get you to level 5.
But why would you want to slow it down? What's the point?
Well, I'm saying like if they're gonna have 20, like you can level up to what, level 15 on just the PvE. I mean, at just the missions that you do once. I don't know. I just
think
just
level
think
10's a really good
I just think
spot.
like then it's like then the Smurf is still a problem. Like if they just do the PvE stuff that goes, you do that in like what 15 minutes, and then you're at almost level 10, and then you can still trade and do the Smurfing thing anyway. So I mean, it's not an anti-Smurf thing in my opinion. I don't think it did much to that.
Sarah
It's a
made a
small
good
thing.
point in the chat because she said she tries to bring people into the game and she has to sit and like play with them before she can like trade them stuff. So I think there's two sides of it, which is why I almost think level 10 is a good slot.
Do you
because
level
it
up
allows...
on unranked now?
Yeah,
Yes,
you gain
you gain
experience.
Memoria and you gain experience in unranked play now.
Okay.
I think this problem with not being able to trade them commons, uncommons, exceptionals, and so on and so forth is going to be mitigated with more players coming into the game. If like currently we don't have a lot of low-level players because the people who have been playing for a long time are all level 30, and like we still have some low-level players because they play more casually than others, and I think it's really hurting them that they don't have enough players to play with. So like for example, you can go ahead and vote for for Faeria to get on Steam for like the Steam greenlight. I think you should all like go over do that, and like just like it will help them get more players into the community, which might help like some of the other like new players get past that phase of like, I don't really want to play because I don't really have a good enough deck, and I'm playing against all these Smurfs and they're just like kicking my ass all the time, you know?
Well, they're also playing against level 30s on top of that, so it's like,
Precisely.
I mean, as a new player coming in, if you're playing against the top ranked, like that's never
not gonna
really a
happen.
fun situation. So they're gonna leave. They're gonna be like, well, I don't know. My personal opinion is if I'm playing against something that's hard, it's a challenge, so I enjoy that. But I also know there's other people that, they want to feel like they're winning as soon as they start playing. But I don't know.
Yeah, at least some games too. It's
No. Well, Joy, what's your change that you want to talk about?
my change that I want to talk about. Well, I asked. Basically, let me just tell you about the change first. The change is Origin Phalanx's ability changed to Strike Back 1, and whenever he comes into play, opponent loses 2 Faeria now. No longer loses Orb HP, but loses 2 Faeria. I asked the devs about this change, why was it so, and they told me that the new idea for Yellow, the new identity of Yellow is going to be Faeria denial. And that's the real thing that I really like and want to talk about, is that the new idea of Desert, it's the Faeria deny. And I wonder what other cards will be there. There's the Origin Phalanx now that deals to Faeria loss. There's Prayer, no, the Wish. There's the Wish of the Oradrim that takes on all the Faeria. And there will probably be a lot more new cards coming in that will still hold up that idea. Maybe even the Orchid that makes it unable to collect is gonna move over to the Desert along with the Wish.
It's
cool.
exciting.
It's really cool.
I mean, it's
I like
not
the
it's not the
idea.
rework Yellow was hoping to get, but like it's
It
some
is the
directional
beginning.
Faeria
change.
denial.
Yeah, it's like
I would say it's the
shifting
beginning
Yellow.
of the new path of Yellow.
I think that a lot of people are thinking that the rework is going to come very soon, and I don't think it will. I think the rework for Yellow is only going to come after we actually have a test server, because I think the developers have all these ideas. But if they go ahead and do like a massive change to the Yellow players might say, I don't want any part of this because this is probably your final thing, and then they'll leave. So I think
Maybe
that
the
what they're
rework
going
has
to
already
do-
begun. It's just going to be a couple of cards at a time.
I think so. I think they're going to introduce small changes every time, just like they do like every patch. Take it a step at a time, and then as soon as they get a like actual test server up and running, they're going to plunk changes after changes in there and have people evaluate them before they make them live. That way, they have input before making it into the actual game, which I think is fine. I think it's fine that they make gradual small changes that they keep doing, and then after they have a test server, I think it's completely fine that they then go ahead and say, yo, let's test this, the mechanic for everybody having strike back or retaliate, which you guys talked about last week.
Yeah.
Right? So I like putting stuff like that into a test server instead of like just putting it live. I think is fine, and I think it's really nice that they're doing this. And I think you should still look forward to the Yellow rework. I just don't think it will be like within the next week or so. Like, of course, yellow will get a graduate like boost, so they will actually become more competitive. We were actually all talking about that in the raid call yesterday. Like, what could we actually do to give yellow small buffs that wouldn't do like an insane amount of things to the color, but just like make it more playable, you know?
Yeah, that was a fun conversation. There was like at least, what is it, like 10 or 15 people all
Yeah.
talking about yellow and with like crazy ideas. It was really great. You guys should definitely join Raid Call.
Yeah, it's a cool community.
Our new title sponsor is Raid Call.
We have a commercial.
The cool thing about Origin Phalanx is it became a very unique and interesting Faeria collector right now. It costs 6 gold, 2 deserts. So, and you look at it, 6 gold and 2 deserts, it's a very late Faeria collector. You can get it fast enough to not waste any Faeria, but you can get it so late
Which one did you say?
that it will deny your opponent's first collected Faeria.
Yep.
It fills out a really cool time slot. You should totally check
Yeah.
it out if you're playing a desert.
I sent a message to Jim about, or Jim, I should say. Actually, I think I sent it to Martin. And one of the things I talked about was how like currently we need a creature out by turn 2, otherwise it's like, oh my god, this game is going to be over. But you brought up a really good point, which I think hasn't really been fully explored yet, is that you don't actually lose any Faeria or lose anything on the board if you like, for example, like the Phalanx you were saying, like by the time you play it, you don't actually lose any Faeria. It just slows down like your second Faeria grab, I think. But it's
slows
like
down, but it's still 3 Faeria you're grabbing.
yeah, and
Nothing's wasted.
exactly. Because like people are like, well, I have to grab that pool, and it's like, yeah, but if you grab it now at 2, unless you're playing something with Faeria the next turn, you might as well wait. Like I did that with Tro Miner. Like I always said, when you first play Tro Miner, you collect gold and then grab Faeria, because then you get an extra gold as opposed to grabbing Faeria twice. So yeah, it's the same kind of thing. That was a good point. Sorry, that was a good point.
And people are already pointing out in the chat that the Defiant Incarnation is also a really cool chain. Maybe you should cover that too.
Go over it.
Defiant Incarnation casting cost changed from... Oh, okay. Requiring 2 deserts, costing 2 gold, 1 Faeria, to requiring 1 desert, costing 3 gold, 2 Faeria. Stat changed from 1-1 to 2-2.
Yeah,
That's
it
when
basically
you can't
became
attack.
That's a pretty big change.
more expensive, but more powerful. I think that on 1-1, it was pretty damn unplayable, because it would just tickle people, and people would get an opportunity to kill the orb. It was really ridiculous. On 2-2, it can actually deal significant damage that cannot be ignored, like 1. And so it is worth playing, and I played it today. Yesterday I was doing Desert, and I totally forgot about this change, and today someone was playing an Incarnation against me and completely wrecked me, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot about Incarnation, I gotta play it now! And it was the best 3 hours of my weekend. It was so good.
There's a lot of fun things in yellow that people are exploring.
So Wish of the Devil changed color as well.
Yes.
Yep.
And name.
Wait, but the Incarnation! I haven't yet explained how powerful.
Oh,
Just
keep
to go over the
explaining. Keep
Incarnation.
explaining.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
They actually used to have it as a 2-2, and I believe it cost like 5 gold, maybe 2 or 3 Faeria.
Yeah, 5, I think.
Yeah. Which I actually think is a lot better than currently. I played a game against Joyful earlier today on stream when I played Green. He played 2 Defiant Incarnations, and I was like, I'm fucked. Because Green hardly has any actual removal for the card other than like Tiki Ambush. It is so hard for it to even deal with 1, and then when it's trying to deal with 2, it's like holy shit. Like I think the colors that have the easiest time dealing with it is obviously red, because it dies to like actual removal like Fire Flap or Runic Flash.
You don't even play it against red, yeah.
Yeah, precisely. I also think blue has a very good way of dealing with it by just swarming it with creatures and just killing your opponent's orb with it. And then you have this awkward green and yellow, which have like awkward removal to try and remove it. Where I would really like to see it go more into like maybe 4 gold, 3 Faeria, but that's very expensive.
You want to say what it does to people?
Oh, it's the same card, the Defiant Incarnation. The one, it doesn't say. Basically, whenever Defiant Incarnation takes damage, it doesn't take any damage, but the orb of the player who played it takes the damage.
Yeah, but it works only on melee attacks. So
No,
you
it
can
works on every attack.
kill the
No.
incarnation with spells. You
No.
can kill it with strike back, and
Oh.
Oh.
it still works on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but okay, yeah.
It
It works with range
range.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So real quick,
It has a
So
lot of health.
Yeah.
so this is like already Incarnation has a very interesting mechanic, but I think Cubes, you know more about this than I do, but I know they've talked about theorizing and hypothetically turning orb life into a type of resource, which would make Incarnation extremely interesting.
Yes.
And that may or may not have
Resource.
something to do with fate, which no one is leaking information about, and I'm very unhappy about
God
that.
damn it! Leak some information already.
Please.
Wait, who's
Go
the one
s-
not leaking? Are we talking about the bald guy here? I mean, the old one.
Oh, we're talking about the goddamn like enforcers that won't tell us anything.
Oh, the
God damn it.
enforcers.
They're like-
I was
Scumbag.
hoping.
They keep
hoping, old
referencing
one would
fate,
know.
and they're not saying anything about it. Like,
there's
please.
actually not much to say, so it doesn't.
Ah!
I heard it's a new card type.
Yeah, just
No shit.
We don't know anything.
So
This is not good.
maybe
Maybe we
Before
can
we
make
move
that
on-
into an. I mean, we can talk to the devs. Maybe whenever they announce it, that will be on the Kappa Council.
Oh yeah.
Let's get
For,
exclusives.
for people watching, go play yellow against Divine Incarnation because all the creatures that have plus damage against the orb works on the Incarnation. It is coded as a walking orb.
Yeah, it is.
That
a
is-
walking
It does
walk.
not take haunt damage, but it takes plus power against the orb damage.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Plus
oh,
power.
If they have not changed this since the last patch, where it was a 1/1, it still takes that damage.
Oh, it's
Oh,
a walking
that's
orb.
great news,
It
because I
should
was
be a walking orb.
wondering,
Obviously, a
actually.
walking orb. I mean,
That's
Yeah.
so interesting because now you have two different build paths in yellow. Because like, let's say yellow plays Incarnation, you could play like an orb damage deck, which is now stronger because they play Incarnation. Ooh, interesting.
because yellow had the worst tools to deal with Divine Incarnation of all factions.
oh, I see
Basically,
what you
as
meant.
removal, they have the Burial Tomb that lasts 4 turns before it actually triggers, or they had the Morning Hazard, which cannot target Incarnation because Morning Hazard targets 3+ power units. So they had no way of dealing with the orb. But now that you've said that, Cubes, now I understand they have the +2 orb damage to deal with it. It's just nobody plays it unless
Yeah.
it's purposeful
I
to rush the orb
played a
down.
game earlier when I was trying to splash yellow into my green decks with the current patch. My opponent played a Divine Incarnation against me, and I was like, wait, does it take power of orb? So I had a Radiant Monk in play, which is basically a 1/2 that has +2 damage against the orb, if I'm correct. Let me just make sure. Yes, +2 power against the orb, and whenever he dies, like whenever he's destroyed, he gains, like you gain a Faeria.
Mm-hmm.
The important part was the plus damage against the orb. My opponent's orb was at a total of 12 health. I played a Might and Guts, and I played a Shaitan Metamorphosis, and I one-shot my opponent.
But I love that because that's like the risk you have to take when playing Incarnation. I really like how it has this like risk reward kind of thing.
I need to say something that might be a little bit off topic that I was reminded about here, which is the fact that I hear about these great games. Like, if that game was streamed, that'd need to be highlighted, put on YouTube. Same with the game where Cubes played Joyful earlier. I mean,
That is
you
that
talked
is
about-
already highlighted.
That's highlight on the Twitch chat.
Okay. But you need to
I
put it on
was
YouTube
sadly
too.
not
Like, everything needs to
streaming.
go there.
Oh my god, you know what needs to happen?
Mhm.
YouTube integration into Twitch when you're looking at game channels.
Wait, what?
Dude,
Because you know how like Twitch has like a highlight area?
Mhm.
Like, you know, it has live channels, a highlight area. They need
But
to
you-
integrate like popular YouTube videos
That
for
would
this game.
probably.
It's as integrated as can be when the two different companies
Yeah.
own it. You can upload your highlights to YouTube with 1 click.
Yeah, at
It-
least
Now-
that is good.
That's what I'm doing.
There was a very interesting question in the chat. Does Aurelian Prayer work like when you're close to a Divine Incarnation? Sadly, it does not. What Aurelian Prayer does is it does 4 damage to the opponent's orb if you have a creature next to their orb. The way...
How about if you put a creature next to the orb and then shoot at the Incarnation then?
Oh, like, I like... The problem is that it is coded as a creature, but it is also coded as the orb. It is... I don't know how to precisely, like...
oh, it's probably just the
Explain it.
damage moves to the orb. So if
Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it's the
but
creature who has
if that's the
plus.
case, like, why won't it take haunt damage? And why is
Because,
the like the power?
because the
Yeah,
creature
Haunt
doesn't
should
take
work.
damage.
No,
The
Haunt
damage
should...
moves to the orb.
I don't... But you're
The orb
technically...
takes
I
damage
guess
of the
that makes
creature.
sense actually. So what you're saying is basically whenever it takes damage, it simply relays the damage over. So it
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
if you hit it with a
That's
monk,
right.
the monk's attack actually just goes to the orb.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
coded
That's
as a
why
creature.
Haunt
Oh, that
doesn't
actually
work.
makes sense. That makes sense.
But still,
think-
Haunt
Okay,
is
so-
about scaring the creature, right? The creature's not scared? No?
I don't know. That's nothing.
So, one last thing on the patch. So, what do you guys think about Red getting this like land type denial?
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I think
Oh my
it's...
God,
okay.
Albert.
Then Omari. Okay, wait. Omari, you
Sir.
take the floor. It is yours.
Oh, I just wanted to point out that I really like the new red direction. It's not only structures. I mean, that's not the only thing in red. There's actually, you know, some direction towards land denial. It's still not... Probably there aren't enough cards to actually make it work right now, but hopefully in the future, if they will add more cards, then we can have a land denial deck, which will be awesome, in my opinion. Maybe with the Garden of the Beggars, right? That's the name of the card?
Yep.
Something like that, I don't know. It could be interesting.
I think it was the bell.
I really want to see Grim Devil's
bell.
Falcon Dive become like a thing in Red.
Alright,
that's
so
like
which things are big here?
Grim Devil's change.
Grimdell, Shadim Song, and the Pest is actually really big.
Yep.
And we also have to make note that Ashriel Shadim is currently bugged. You can use it on your own lands. Sadly.
Wait, what?
It doesn't deal
Shutting
orb
is now-
damage. It doesn't do the orb damage, but it makes your opponent discard.
It doesn't do the orb damage. Oh, I didn't know that.
What when I was watching people do it and testing it, the orb never actually took damage, but they did have to discard.
Alright.
But that could be at like it was just bugged that way, and then they took damage like the next time they did it. So I don't know.
I think it might be like some coding left over from how it used to work, because it used to make them lose a Faeria and discard a card.
Oh, Kobold got nerfed.
I wouldn't call it a nerf. I would
Well-
actually call it a buff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it gains struck back.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
That's a buff, yeah. I would
wait,
say.
wait. Okay, I meant the mercenary.
Oh.
The
I would
mercenary
also say
also a buff.
Gaining
Well, the thing
plus
before
2
is
power.
that it wasn't limited before, was it?
Yes,
That's
it
the
was.
thing.
It was.
Okay. Because I
So
okay.
now it can be a 4/3.
Yeah,
That's a nice change, actually.
a 3.
I like it because before the Kobold mercenary, basically, you pretty much always used his ability when you attacked with him. You always wanted to deal 2 damage.
I really
except
like
for
the
very special
mercenary.
circumstances. Now it's actually a more meaningful decision, I would say, because it costs more gold but has a
Yes.
stronger effect.
I would like to see them add more mercenaries into the like as a faction, because I think it'd be very interesting to have
Interesting.
creature decks that are technically weak, but you have to pay to make them
I
strong kind
like
of deal.
that. Yeah, that's a faction.
Maybe
cool.
gains
Might
courage
be
if you
coming.
pay, or
Oh, I don't understand what you're saying.
Might be coming. No one knows.
Let me give you breath mint.
Thank you. Give me a second.
What the fuck?
what could they gain? I mean, it
That'd
would
be
be
it. You know what I'm
maybe
saying? Like,
protection for 1 turn if you pay.
oh, that's basically barrier. I like that.
That's the mob, right? Like, I pay for protection.
Oh god. You now have like the red card, the mob boss. It's a
You can
1/1
make it so that they gain like all these crazy abilities.
Rebel gangster.
rebel.
5 gold gains protection 1.
You could like make it so that like they get strike back for a turn, they get ranged attack for a turn, charge as well, like jump.
You could do a
all
lot
this
of
kind
things because it
stuff.
wouldn't
Sounds
be
cool.
balanced because you'd have to pay for
Yeah,
it.
you're buying it.
This is real gold, real money.
Well, yeah. So
You
you'd have
have
to.
to
Oh,
Have to
and
take
that's
your in real life money and smash
Yes!
them into the screen
yes.
to use the ability.
No, but that's where they add microtransactions. Like,
Yeah.
pay $1 and this creature gets ranged.
No,
Into
no.
It's gonna be for the Faeria mobile version.
Yeah, yes.
Like, worst idea ever.
But like,
I just
the
think it's
red
awesome.
enemy deck,
That would be
then you'd
fun.
have creatures that could like gain like different. That'd be really interesting. Because then you have two different build paths in red. You have like the structure deck, and then you have like the mercenary kind of build. But then
I
again,
love that.
this red. Do we really want red to have all these options?
But
Should
yeah,
we
I
give-
love.
I mean, if
love
it costs
red.
money, why not? If it costs
I'm-
money, I
I'm
mean.
just saying, if red gets more cards, every other faction will probably gain more cards as well. More cards.
Do you
means more
think
options.
so? Really? Are,
No,
are we
never.
sure
Red
these?
will have
Hey,
400 cards. Every other faction.
But
will
hey,
have 100.
hey, are we sure these 50 cards are not just red cards? I mean.
Yeah, 50 red cards, 1 green card, and like half a yellow card.
In before
Please
red
pass
now
on
has
to the
50.
devs the rebel idea. It's great.
Huh? What rebel idea?
Please pass on the rebel idea.
You mean
I
the
mean
mercenary?
the
Rebel
mercenary idea.
The
to
mercenary
devs.
idea, the mercenary
Already
idea.
been there, done that.
Cool.
Dang it! I'm just.
Hey, they're
lazy.
watching these shows, like whatever we say they hear.
I have also made ideas where they could make very powerful units that will have a negative effect when entering the battlefield.
Yes, I want that.
I was saying they could make
Yeah.
like a 3/3 that cannot collect Faeria, or maybe a 3/2
You
maybe.
said big creatures, so you meant 3/3. Like,
They are big creatures for their cost, and then make it cost like 3, maybe 4 gold, and then say have abilities like whenever this card comes into play, you won't get action points for the next turn.
dude,
That-
but
that was a yeah.
that needs to be bigger than 3/3 though.
No, if you're missing
you're
out on
paying
3
2
action
gold-
points.
2 gold for like a 3/3 that is
Okay,
essentially
2 gold.
cost-
Okay, 2 gold. Sure.
Like, even at 3 gold, you're essentially paying the 3 action points you would get the next turn. If you say an action point is worth a gold, you've essentially paid 6 gold for a 3/3 in human, which is like fairly reasonable.
The biggest issue I see is that there's a meme here. I came up with a good idea and it's still bad because it's already been brought up. There's a meme. I need to make it,
I came up with a good idea.
and it's still bad.
Anyways, in the
But that's a
interest of
really good idea,
conserving
Cubez.
time
Like
and-
I really hope they like go into that because that'd be so interesting. Like there's so many options of balance in there that is like really interesting.
Let me just put it this way. I will quote Jim in saying, that's interesting. Which is his reply to everything, by the way.
Yeah.
Either it is, I have an explanation for this, or it is, interesting.
I mean
That
that's a
is
kind
good
way to
response,
say
actually.
you're dumb. Like that's just being like.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it meant something else. I'm going to kill myself over here.
But yeah, I mean, let's lift import-export decks as well. So I guess it's at least helping us with the multiple decks thing now.
Finally.
It may actually help us better than a interface for saving decks like Hearthstone has, say.
It's now possible to export your deck into. I'm reading it silently. It's now possible to export your deck into a text format and use the same format to import your deck, which also helps with sending in deck lists to tournaments.
Yes, yes, it does.
It also helps posting your deck list in
Anywhere,
a forum so other people can just paste it in.
And the
It's- I would-
forums have the feature where they show all the cards and pop up things, and everything is awesome.
No more screenshots.
No
And
more
And it probably took a
I
very
missed
little
that.
time.
Oh, it's the end of an era.
No,
Oh.
you know, it's like when they released Windows Vista. Everybody kept using XP. We're gonna keep doing screenshots.
Nah, I don't
no,
think we will.
Where do you find
Convenience
it?
will
You
win.
go
Vista
into
was
Faeria,
not convenient.
Lethal Paper Cut, which is, by the way, an awesome name. You go into your library inside of Faeria. There is a import/export button right above all the search functions within the deck itself. I can send you a screenshot just because I can.
No, send him the deck list of that location. It's the new era.
There
We don't
is
do
a link
screenshots
for that.
anymore,
You might have to copy paste it if you're not using better Twitch, by the way.
I think it's just great how little work it probably took because they didn't have to design massive interface changes.
Import-export
And-
is just
And,
brilliant.
and yet how usable it is. It can
Oh.
you can share with other people with
Guys.
such ease.
I love
I
it.
came up with a meme.
Again.
God damn it. Okay, so... Jesus.
Hey, and the meme is you spamming it.
Meme generator.
What if
Yeah,
we added more
You
messen?
did all those things.
I think you forgot a letter.
What if we added more
What did I?
lesson? Shut up, Casey. It's
Listen.
already been done. Such a noob though, making his own memes. Jesus. Anyway, memes are supposed to be made by the people.
Instead of Merson.
Yeah, because the meme, this meme is like you start something and it slaps you, so it's like
No shit, you're explaining it.
I am
Oh my
explaining
god.
it.
No.
Okay, we need.
What has the world become?
I was gonna say we don't need a break today, but we might need to escape this shit.
Are we taking it? We should.
No,
finish
we're not
some-
taking a break. And you're so tired. We started late. You go to bed. No, we're not gonna run that long today. So, okay, anything else you guys want to cover in the patch notes?
I guess like a guy in chat really wanted us to bring up Tiki Shop. So, like the change from 2 forests to 1 forest.
No.
How
no.
big do you think it is? Like,
No.
I have seen like the weird ass decks that just like Forest Shaman, go. I play no other forest cards. I just play Shaman. I can. I am good at. I don't know.
I'm good at game. No.
Wait, what the hell?
I don't like that. It shouldn't be splashable.
Me neither.
It doesn't sound like something that makes sense in other colors. If you consider how the game is,
Oh,
the
take a shot.
themes of the game and lore of the game, it's
I guess I'll bring it up.
Sweet.
How is that a
It is a
how
very.
is that a decreasing cost really? Like,
It's not really.
Not
It's
really.
not a cost
it's
decrease.
just making it splashable. Yeah.
a decrease.
I guess I'll bring it up.
Yeah, I
The
sent him.
Slippery, another streamer, have been asking for this card to be nerfed for a long time. I am actually kind of starting to get on the boat if I think it should also be nerfed. Because it essentially kind of pays for itself the first time it collects.
I actually sent a full like 800 word like write up about Shaman to Martin last night, and basically yes, the problem is with the ramping. The problem is with the ramping and collects Faeria and gets a buff. And I really think the direction of the card is like right now the card is played as I get a ton of action points. Who cares about the buff? It's something that I get on the side.
Been there, done that.
Card. What?
Don't do
Been
that.
there, done that.
Yeah, I know.
Slap yourself again, KCIV.
I'm just saying that yes, Shaman should be addressed.
If you consider that the one buff it gives per turn is kind of the same as playing a Knight's Praise, the card is very cost efficient. The first time it collects.
I
There's
don't
a
get
lot of
the.
especially in the forest with the double moves. You buff all the moves.
I don't get the Lunar Moki casting cost increase. That's why.
I don't know why.
I think it was the best water card.
No, but
it
why
actually has
another
a very
another lake? What?
it has a very interesting interaction with the Inside the Cube episode I'm doing tomorrow. Just putting that out there.
Tomorrow.
Maybe it was splashable into some, I don't know what.
No
I
one's splashed it.
I don't know. I don't see there being a point about it. I don't see it being a bad thing. I don't really. It's fine. I don't mind, and I don't think it does a lot, but
It may slightly slow down the water rush if he's going for my Faeria and he collected maybe with a human unit. He still has to build 2 lakes for that Lunar Moki to rush me down. Small, I would say it could be a small nerf against the rush.
well.
Okay.
If water goes like for Rubyfish or Water Elemental play as the first harvester of the game, does that one additional lake matter at all? Like,
No.
it only matters if they
It's
play
not.
Kappa Serenity, I suppose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Wait.
think it's a big change.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
is there anything else we want to talk
Are
about?
we happy about the patch notes?
think
I am
it's-
so happy.
Yes.
Patch is awesome. Well, the only other thing to really mention is Scapegrace, which we kind of already went over. But the important thing with Scapegrace is like exactly what Cube said, is that it has
Everybody played it.
instead of like everyone needs this 100%. So I like that they kept the cards. What made the card good is still intact, but now it just has a reason to be played, as opposed to there is no reason, just add it.
I guess Shogun pointed out that we should probably talk about.
By the way, how does the Imperial Disruptor work? Like
now,
whenever it has 3, destroy it, but.
It doesn't affect the first turn. Like after you play
so
the first turn doesn't.
Like basically, it gives your opponent 1 turn to deal with it before it starts knocking you down. It doesn't stop the chaining of Imperial Disruptors, but it does make it more susceptible to structure removal or just simply attacking it and killing it.
It's probably a huge nerf.
Huge nerf. I got disrupted twice, and I twice killed it with a haste unit in the same turn.
Yeah.
And
or you can
was
just
like, what the fuck happened? And then I was like, oh, read the changes.
Even if you don't kill it, you can just move away from like radiate and stuff. I don't know. I feel it.
Yeah, you can move away from like his open land, so he can't just radiate you down. Like you have a turn to decide what you want to do against the card.
You get to react to it.
Yes,
I really like that. That was exactly what I was asking.
I like it too. I like it. It sounds good.
Weapon rack has been increased to 2 gold.
Yeah, I hate it.
I think that's an amazing change. I think we had the same problem we had with Escape Grace, that everybody played it.
Yeah,
because it was like, if you simply took like the time to think about how to play the card, it just did so much.
Yeah, it
against
took me
Blue Rush,
a while
you had to like really sacrifice a creature to kill the weapon rack, which would then like essentially lose you the game in the long run, because then he has a creature more than you. It became this weird battle, and I like it being at 2 gold. I've not seen a blue player so far, so I don't know what they're actually going to do. I think probably they'll just go down to playing 2, because it's still so good in their deck, but it's not like, yo, you're playing like late game green with like Gaborius and stuff, yo, put Weapon Rack in there, you know? Like, I like it.
Maybe they'll try King Sprays, I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, I like it. I mean, it should have cost a little bit more than it did, so I think it's a good change.
I think so.
It was really powerful. Okay.
Do you guys not think that making it like a accumulator and then destroy itself? Do you think that's
I don't think that's what the developers wanted for the card, so that's why they didn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably not what they wanted. I agree.
Like Quincy Jones brought up the idea of making Weapon Rack Accumulator 2 and then die after like it had 2 energy. But I don't think that's where they wanted the card to go, so they simply just made it another gold, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
It is, after all, their game and their decision what they want to do with it.
I don't want to see accumulator in every freaking structure thing either. Buffing.
They really want to make the game as easy for new people as possible, while still having like, well, not just being like a pushover for like experienced people, which is why you see minimal text on every card. Like if you look on most cards, there's not a lot of text on there.
Yeah, and accumulator is not easy to figure out for new people. I was seriously confused. I didn't even know that these little lightnings were actually energy. That it's
like the energy part of the game is probably the hardest part to figure out. So accumulator is a hard ability to understand. And if our solution to a lot of cards is put accumulate on it, it's gonna be a problem, right? Like,
yeah, and it's also, I don't know, I'm, you know, you always like this where you're like, oh, it looks ugly with accumulator and freaking everything, aesthetically. So yeah, let's not overuse it. Find other ways. Okay, are we happy now?
Okay.
Yeah, with the patch.
JoyfulRogue is satisfied.
I have one quick question though. So do you think that there's a problem with adding too many new mechanics to the game? Like, do you think that they should explore adding new mechanics and new abilities, or do you think the amount they have is good, they just need to add more cards with variations between what they have? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's inevitable to add new mechanics, but they should limit it, and if they add them, it would be nice if they were simple and elegant.
Yeah, you should probably add like a new mechanic maybe once in like, every expansion.
Yeah, I was gonna say expansions. I want to see expansions in the future after the game. I mean, are at release point. You know, obviously, don't want to see an expansion before the game is actually at like, oh, the game is like done. We have a final product here. But with expansions, you know, I want to see obviously like, oh, here with this expansion we're adding all of this, which also adds this new mechanic to the game all at once, which is gonna be awesome. And obviously, I'm also hoping for obviously another color in another expansion. So
Don't think another color.
Color may not be what it's...
They'd have to rework the way the tiles worked, like the UI and everything. But it's a
Yeah, but I've
possibility.
heard there's
It's true, but I'm
Those
saying
gonna
I'm
be really
hoping
cool
in the
stuff.
future that an expansion will bring another color. I'm hoping, but you know.
I don't. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure it won't.
But we don't know that after the
But
game
we know.
is done and stuff.
I know that lots of cool stuff are coming, like in the first expansion. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, like you know, when do we see penguins, right? And
When is the
polar
first
bears
expansion?
And,
Oh, it's a
Are we
long time.
thinking, like
from now.
2 years after the release date, which is like
No.
still 7 months from now, or
What-
is
what
the
do you
first
think?
expansion like relatively quick?
what
No,
expansion?
it's like probably a few months after. I'm guessing here.
But
like,
isn't
like,
every expansion gonna
I
just
guess like a
split
few
the
months after
community?
this.
Huh?
Isn't every expansion just gonna split the community in half into people who
It's
bought
gonna
it
be a. You know what I think? I think an expansion should work for everyone. Whereas you can, you know, you have to buy the expansion to be able to get the cards.
it would be
You can still face people with those cards.
Yeah.
I think that's neat. Because yeah, otherwise they'll just be, you know, splitting the game every time an expansion comes out. Nah, I think it's easy to do that. Like, because obviously when we get there, there will be the standalone client, maybe even Steam integration. I don't know, but whatever it is, you know, it will at least be a standalone client. So I think technically it won't be too difficult for them to just make it like, oh, you don't have the expansion. When you buy packs, you don't get cards from that expansion. But
Or
you can
just-
still play against people. Like the cards will be in your game, but
Or just make it so that like if you don't have the expansion, you can't play against people that have the expansion. But you can
yeah, but
still
that's where
play-
you're splitting the community.
Well,
Like
I
you
don't
don't,
know.
yeah. I mean, you can't.
If you
That's
split the
a bad
community
idea.
2 or 3 ways with 2 or 3 expansions, then there's suddenly gonna be 3 small groups of people, and none of them will find enough opponents.
Well,
to interact with.
assuming first off that the expansions will be balanced with the old state. For example, the new expansions won't. What's the word? It's
Power
not.
grip.
Yeah, it won't like It's not circumvent. The word that means take over or take the place of.
It's
like
called power grip in some games.
Usurp or something. But anyway, they won't like be better than
Overtake.
the old. Yeah, so assuming that, you know, the expansions will just be new additions, not necessarily better, then you don't have to split the community and like just have the packs be
Yeah.
available to people that have bought the expansion.
As long as
everyone's playing
asymmetrical
together, but
gameplay is
oh,
still
he has
viable.
that cool new mechanic deck that I haven't seen yet, but I'm still on my old blue rush deck. But you know that'd be an easy way to do it, I guess.
I mean, that's more or less how all the other games does it. Even though they obviously, when they release expansions, they're talking about like a whole, like a new set of cards. And obviously, since they are built up around the model where you just, you know, spend real money to buy and get those cards, they are just like, you know, added as separate packs, right? Where you buy those random packs to get, you know, into those expansions, and then you have the other random packs which give you the old all the older cards, and then it's never a problem. And you know, it's always down to not splitting the player base, because you want everybody to be able to play against everybody, so you have the biggest amount of possibility for matchmaking and everything. So obviously I think it's gonna be like that. They're just gonna make it so, you know, you buy the expansion, then you get access to acquiring those cards, I think.
they
Yeah, I guess
could just
other
make it
card
so
games
that
pulled it off by selling expansion packs, card packs. So we could just sell the expansion and then make the packs available for Memoria, and
That's how it.
works
Yeah,
the
I
same
mean,
way.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like unlocking access to,
So-
because obviously the game is buy to play. So you buy the expansion, and then, you know, you can with your Memoria buy packs that gives you from that. Yeah. Those
And-
books.
you could obviously do this in a bunch of ways. Like you could also just do it so that, like, whenever you upgrade to a new expansion, you get the option of buying the expansion new packs. So you can only get cards from the expansion and nothing from below that. So that whenever you're in the memoriam where you buy your packs, you will have to choose what expansion or what like game you're under or whatever you want to call it.
Most card games do that. Like you have two options. You either buy from the latest expansion, so you know that you're getting like new cards, even though because it's obviously random what cards you're getting, but it's you know you're getting the latest expansion, or you have the option of getting the previous one. So let's say they've had 4 expansions, all adding new type of cards, then they have this 4th expansion just released, and you're buying from the pack where you get the new cards, but then you have the other books which gives you all the previous. Like you are getting this random chance of getting cards from all the previous expansions. So you don't get, because otherwise you'll have like what, 5 different versions of each book at the 4th expansion. That would be crazy.
That would be a 3rd row of books. It wouldn't be the worst thing.
Nah, but it's at least that's how they. I mean that's something that works. I think. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully we'll get there eventually.
Why are we talking about expansions? Like,
yeah, I don't know
talk
how
about
we even got.
release
I like how
First.
it became.
Sleepy,
I like
yeah.
how it became a whole topic. It was
Doesn't know
really
any
funny.
better.
Like, oh, expansions, expansions, yeah, like.
I mean, it's exciting. I won't lie. It is exciting.
We should talk about Steam instead. Like, you know, that's what we need to like. People,
There's
go
not enough
vote.
things to do on Steam. I hate it. I've already done it. I did it as soon as I found the game, and I'm still like, can I like click like a few more times? Like, come on.
I'm gonna make 5 more accounts here. Yeah, I think we're like about done. Unless you guys have any other topic you want to discuss on this particular episode.
Not really.
I want to discuss why we're suddenly more intimate with JoyfulRogue.
No, I'm testing a new camera angle so that, look at this. I'm looking at the chat, and it's like looking in the camera, almost.
Oh, that's what I do when I
I
stream.
put it on my
I've
pre-
actually moved
Okay.
my camera.
You should
So
have
you
the.
I'm talking to people, and
Now
it's
we're all
exciting.
gonna do it. Now we're
And
all
then
like
playing a game.
Oh, you wanna see where I have my camera when I cybersex? Okay, cool.
What's up, guys?
No,
We need
serious.
to all quit from this angle now.
I feel left out. I'm gonna just make a closey of my nose. Alright, so
I'm gonna stream tomorrow with this angle, so that when
Like,
I
I'm,
read
like,
the
looking
chat,
at
you see that I'm
Ari.
looking at them.
what's your angle? No, but I had something to say. It'll get lost in translation.
Down here.
Oh my god, I started shuffling again!
Yeah,
No!
okay, Cubes. First of all, when you this was what I was gonna say. I forgot it, but I got it again. I like the new camera angle way better though, so you should probably do that on your episodes.
Oh,
it was
I do this normally when I stream. I just moved it over here.
yeah, but you had
Oh.
that camera angle you have now. You did that.
You look like an esports director in a suit.
Like
I'm
when,
not gonna lie.
like
It's like
the camera
esports
angle you
headset.
had.
Oh, the one I had before?
Yeah, like the one you had now on this episode here. Is
Oh,
what you need to
sure.
do on the, because that was way better. It felt like you're talking more towards us and stuff, like, because yeah, it was a really good angle. You should just use that. Probably use a suit and tie always also, and don't shuffle. Holy shit, I hate your stream.
I can't!
You should.
Give me something. I've been looking to...
Hey, you might end up like
where,
this.
Where the hell am I even over here? Holy shit.
Scream, you should look at Day 9. He's always fiddling with his hands, and he's one
Yeah.
of the best.
Oh yeah, but
streamers.
he's using a pen.
It works!
But so I don't hear. Fritz, Fritz,
Day
Fritz.
9 is dropping a pen on his stream, and then he ducks under to pick it up.
Yeah, but you don't
Um,
hear that shit.
I've actually been going out to
KCIV.
to find an actual place where I can buy those beanbags that you like either juggle with or like just sit with. So I'll sit and play with those instead.
Yes.
should-
So
your
we're gonna hear.
nervous tick is
So we're gonna
juggling.
hear. So we're gonna hear.
Cubes, how's the tournament going?
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
play some Faeria.
So let's stream JoyfulRogue teaches Cubes how to juggle.
Holy crap! What the heck?
Hey, Casey, you didn't know that?
Son?
You haven't
You,
seen that?
you never knew JoyfulRogue was juggling, really?
So
Oh my god!
apparently,
No, it's me shuffling again. Fuck!
you should no Cubes. This is what you need to do. You need to buy a second webcam and have a dedicated shuffle webcam, where like you have the webcam
Oh,
like
fuck
right
my
up against
life.
where you shuffle. So it's like the dedicated shuffling webcam. That's what you need.
Unfollow.
So that you can sit here and like watch me shuffle cards for
Yeah,
days.
yeah. No, you just learn
Yeah,
some
like all
card
those
tricks
other
along
shitty
the way.
streamers who has a
Oh,
cam
so,
of
so
their
you want me to
cat.
go down to my dad to learn card tricks? Is that what you're telling me? Oh. Like,
Yeah, you need to
no,
make
but
another
I'm-
episode. Card
I'm
tricks with
basically
cubes.
I'm just looking to get like one of those beanbags that I can just sit and roll in my hands like this or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason I actually shuffle cards is mainly because it's an addiction from when I play Magic the Gathering, and like other than that, it's to keep my hands warm when I'm not doing anything on my opponent's turn, or when I'm just sitting there thinking. So I do something with my hands. So if I sit with the actual like beanbag and just like roll back and forth, I will also do something and keep my like my hands like doing something in warm. Anyways.
So, what are we doing here?
Well,
Yeah. Very
Oh,
good
no,
question.
this is extra time.
Yep. We should just
Anyways.
wrap up, I guess, right?
Yeah,
We
should we
covered
wrap up?
everything we wanted to.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think so. Other than great old one, go to bed. God damn it.
Yeah, 6th episode.
Has anyone
6
contacted you about the
weeks.
comics?
Oh yeah.
Who has a kid?
Oh, that's my girlfriend
Oh.
talking to her
How
parents.
old is she? God damn it.
In Israel, you know, they start date
God.
like it's like
She's
it's like
20.
Mexico.
24.
In Mexico, where
But,
the legal age to have sex is 12, which is true, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know if this
In-
is just
Okay.
race.
In
Should we-
India,
should
in
we
India,
wrap
it's
up
like
so we
in
don't
India,
have
it's like
randomness?
26 or 28 or something.
Anyway, so has anyone
Wrap up.
contacted you, Amari, about the comics and whatnot?
No.
Oh, you guys suck.
Could we wrap up so I can go back to shuffling my cards, please?
He's so like,
No, like now I actually got them closer to me again, and now I can't stop again.
oh, okay. Okay, so it's been a great episode. Where can they find you, Cubes? Who are you?
Oh god. You want me to actually say my name again? Okay,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
can find
Piece
me
of
on
goat.
CHRI594 and then F on Twitch.
On the other hand, you could just type it on the chat. It probably.
This is the actual link. I will be streaming the Inside the Cube with the actual first episode.
The
Your
actual
message
first
was-
episode. Nah, it's the second one.
Huh? Oh, okay. So I will do the first episode where I go ahead and like take a deck from the tournament and another deck, and then I analyze those. I will do that tomorrow, probably around like 3 o'clock in the day, which is in a total of what is that? 16 hours. I don't know. Do the math. 16 hours from now. I will be highlighting it, I will be putting it on YouTube, and I will be making a forum post with it. Just like I did with the first episode, which you can, by the way, find right here. So yeah, other than that, in-game or in raid call, I'll gladly, like, if new players want to come in and, like, ask some questions in raid call or just get me in-game, sure, go ahead. Like, I have Saraf, or Saraf 3, whatever, I can't pronounce that name, Jesus. Basically, I'm trying to teach the person how to be better at Faeria and like how to think about the game, along with Dems, another player. We fiddled her deck a little. There you go. Just so it could be more basic, so she could try and learn how to like position herself and make lands and stuff. And
There's a female playing Faeria? Wait.
there's multiple females playing
Of
Faeria.
course.
Oh my god.
We have 3 in raid call.
It's a very
Really, that's
friendly
insane.
game, I would say.
Join us on Raid Call. We have women.
We have actual females. Like, it's
Big
fine.
sorry, didn't happen.
It's fine. I'm always open to like answer questions from new players. Like obviously, I mostly have experience in green. So if you're a green player and need some help, please just like hit me up. I'm either in game at the MrCubez name, as you can see under like the guy with the suit that has power +1 in suits. Otherwise, I'm in my stream or in raid call. I am on raid call like basically every day.
Hi, KCIV, what's up? I mean, what's up? Like, where do they find you?
I stream at KCIV 4. I've recently been really busy. It's finals week, basically, so I haven't been streaming as much as I should be and would like to. But hopefully when I come back, I'm going to be taking my time. I'm going to be trying to learn some desert. I'm going to be a desert player. I'm going to be a yellow guy. So we'll see how well that goes. I'm also in Raid Call as well. There's a lot of really cool people in Raid Call, I'm not going to lie. We actually got, like, I think 6 new people that have been on regularly, and it's been a lot of fun in Raid Call. Not just talking Faeria, like, you know, it's just a great time to hang out. So anyway, yeah, the stuff. Omari.
Omri.
Omri.
Yeah.
Great old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sometimes on JoyfulRogue stream, I guess, or on Cube stream. I haven't been there in a long time though. You can find me on Hearthstone. Okay.
In
that's
Hearthstone?
it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of busy.
I mean,
When you told me about it anyways, it's because like some Faeria games might drag on for longer than most Hearthstone games. So you play Hearthstone because you don't have the time for Faeria.
Yeah,
correct?
you can just log in and play a game for 5 minutes and not have to worry about.
I mean, Hearthstone is a pretty damn polished game. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
So.
You two are like heretics and blasphemers,
Who?
infidels. Both of yous.
What? No, I haven't done anything.
3 of you.
Infidels.
I
We
streamed
must have
20
a
minutes of
crusade. We need to
Hearthstone.
cleanse this community from all the Hearthstone and
Oh,
all the
I'm
evil.
not playing. I've played it for 2 days or 3.
You've been infected. That's like something an infected person
Nah,
would
not
say.
really. Not really. I have a job, dude. I'm working my ass off, and well, not now. I'm gonna be home for 5 days. But apparently I can't use the computer. I'm actually thinking, since this hand is working, I might try using the left hand on the mouse. We'll see how that goes.
Good luck.
It's gonna go great. It's gonna go way better than me using my legs.
But
That's
I.
a fun conversation.
What the frick? Okay, JoyfulRogue, the anti-streamer.
The
Wait, wait.
What are you talking about?
I just felt that was a good
As
title.
opposed to KCIV, I'm actually the person who is streaming more than I'm supposed to, more than I should, more than
You're
is good for me.
supposed to?
Yeah. I'm basically hurting myself physically and mostly physically by streaming way too much.
What are you
way,
doing
way
on
more
your
than I
stream?
should.
Physically. Well, you know, all the jumping around that he does. It's
Oh, the sitting around. I need to do more jumping. And mostly I do Faeria weekends, so you can always find me at twitch.tv/JoyfulRogue. During weekends I'm streaming Faeria. I believe the next week's gonna be mostly XCOM. I think I'm gonna come back to XCOM with all the second wave options again. But again on the weekend I will join with Faeria. If you wanna check me out, well, you know where to find me by now probably. And it's fun.
awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Thank you all for watching, guys. I'm Scream112 streaming on Metagamingtv. Not for a while now. Shit, the time goes quickly, especially when Christmas is coming and the work is a lot. Not sure I'm gonna stream during the 5 days home now that I'm gonna be, though, since I'm not really allowed to use the computer, and I don't know. I really have no clue what to do. I might go on and stream if I figure out playing without using my right hand, because of inflammation. Taking these pills right here. So yeah. Well, you know, please follow the channel. We'll be back next week, same time, with the 7th episode of Kappa Council. So I hope to see you here, there, then. Oh, and, you know, please make a post or reply to the thread in the forums. You know, leave some feedback there, maybe. You know, say what you like, dislike. You know, come with opinions about topics, perhaps. The video, if you're late here, the video will be on YouTube by this time tomorrow. Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Why?
Awesome.
Thank you, Cubes, for joining us. That was good.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, good night, Henri.
Nice. You take care of yourself, man.
Bye.
Well, dude.
Thank you.
I will probably be in suit for the episode tomorrow, now that you told me to do it.
Oh, you should.
Yes.
I will sit here, I will ask my grandmother for one of my granddad's pipes, and I'll just sit with him like...
Oh, that could, hey, that could be a thing. You know, you could have a different tie every episode.
Yeah, like how my hat got started. You should
But
do it.
bathrobe is... This has to be a bathrobe, man.
With a tie?
The bathrobe with the pipe and different colors of smoke everywhere.
That will never work. I will get banned. Wait. for nudity. Killed them all over the place.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you, host.
Yeah, I would say as far as guests go, that was pretty good.
I really enjoyed that. Like, we had a lot of fun.
Who would have thought Cubes could be a good guest, right?
I did.
I suck. I'm sorry. Okay,
I did for the
go
first
over in the
episode.
corner and I'll like be sad over here.
He's just putting his chair across the
Oh my god, I'm so happy you didn't see all the shit I did on on the stream. I like did weird shit whenever I started picking up my cards. I like fucking like went mad.
I was looking at it, I was like, what are you doing?
I'm just getting mad at myself jumping when they shouldn't be. Oh god damn it.
And you do realize